So Cody made his entrance, and there was the hugs and the autographs and the whoa and the Cody chants and the cheers. It's got to the point now, it was like these people had just been paroled from Sing Sing and they hadn't seen the outdoors when he just started. He said, Tulsa, ah! They wouldn't let him speak. They were cheering so loud. And then all he has to do is say, well, what's next? Who will I defend against at Bash in Berlin? And boom, here comes Solo's music. So it's to the point now where the babyface doesn't even really need to come out and cut a promo to get himself over. They're already goddamn creaming themselves that he's there to begin with, so he can just he can set the premise up with one sentence, and here comes the heel. And off we go on our dramatic monologue for the evening. And Solo came out with the Tongas. Okay, now, Brian, are they fucking with us? What is it now? Do you think is Fatu injured, not injured? They're taking advantage of this. It's really a shoot. Which of these answers are we going with this week?
I don't know. I mean, I thought he was hurt. I saw him in the walking boot. You thought, and you're right, it made sense for the match for him to get hurt when he did. So that makes you think that's a sell.
And it also made sense for him to wear some type of support afterward instead of just walking around 7-Eleven in front of the fans like a goddamn Olympic sprinter.
It also made sense in that it makes it so that he's not there when Roman returns and gets his hands on the people who were there. So he doesn't get his hands on Jacob Fatu.
But we've also heard reports that much of the WWE locker room is now convinced that he's hurt. So even the boys don't know for sure. But it's going to suck if he is, but it was too convenient. And here's another thing that made me think he's not, because he sold it too overtly. And if you go back and look, when most of the time, unless something breaks instantly and you drop like a fucking stone in a pond, when people do hurt something, they do everything they can not to show it if it's not supposed to be sold. And he was selling instantly to the point where that guy, if he was hurt and sold that big, that instantly, then he wouldn't have been in a walking boot. He'd have been in a goddamn wheelchair later on. So we'll see what happens. But it also worked here for this night that Jacob Fatu was not in the building, because
That's right.
What would have happened if he had been? How could what happened have happened if it had happened that Jacob Fatu would have happened by?
And the other thing is, when he's not there and Solo comes out with the two Tongas, you're looking for Jacob Fatu. Because he's established, he comes out of the crowd, he comes out of a corner, wherever he may be. So you don't know where he's coming from.
Well, we know where Solo's coming from. He's coming from a position that he wants a rematch. He is pissed about SummerSlam. If it hadn't been for Roman Reigns, he would have been the champion. And he wants another chance. And Cody fired up on him and said, you lost the match. You caused Jacob Fatu to get hurt. And you're delusional if you think that you deserve a rematch. And at that point, of course, the Bloodline then begins to step into the ring in a menacing fashion when here comes Kevin Owens from the back door, slides in with two chairs, and they hold the Bloodline off at bay. And Solo's like, well, I'm going to deal with you later after I find Roman Reigns. And you think that the Bloodline leaves, music starts playing, you think that's it, and then they bring the music down. Because then Cody says, and I'll tell you what I think in a second, but I'm liking this. Cody pitches to Kevin Owens, Kevin, I want to talk to you. And he pitches the idea that he wants to defend the title against Kevin Owens in Berlin. Because he's, been there, he's had his back, he's blah, 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 he deserves it. And Owens says, I don't, and boy, I bet they had to twist his arm to tell him the value in this storyline approach. But Owens says, I don't deserve a title match. I haven't earned it. Look at my win-loss record. And then the fans are like, you deserve it. And Cody wants to reward Owens for having his back, and he pumped him up and told him how great he was. And he said, I'm going back there now to tell Nick Aldis that I want this match, and I'm not going to let you say no. I will see you at the Bash in Berlin. And Owens was left looking fairly put off by the whole thing. What do you think, Brian?
What do I think about what?
Well, what do you think about this development where all of a sudden we've been talking about Cody can defend against this guy and that guy and the other guy? Kevin Owens, his name didn't come up. Kevin Owens and Cody for the title in Berlin, out of nowhere. What the fuck is going on?
I'm not crazy about it, and I'm going to guess that it's going to be part of a bigger thing. Because, again, the babyface world champion is saying that he wants to just give a world title shot. Not usually it would be the babyface friend wants a world title shot, and it leads to something. This is going in the other direction. The babyface world champion wants to gift his friend, who hasn't won matches lately, a world title match, risking that he could lose the title to his friend.
Wild card, bitches.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see where they go. I didn't like the execution of it. You know, again, when Kevin Owens all of a sudden is the bashful, oh, I don't deserve it. Get out of here. I didn't like the setup for it very well. And, you know, Cody was very much into his Shakespearean dusty persona here, in the cadence and the way he lays things. I couldn't deal with it.
Yes, and the pronunciation.
Yeah, I wasn't, well, again, we'll see where they go, but I didn't like the buildup of it. Just the idea that Owens doesn't even want the match. Cody's giving him the match because he thinks he deserves it, which means that Cody thinks he could risk losing the title to his friend. I mean, I don't like
Well,
it.
either that or maybe Cody says, fuck, he can't whip cream with an outboard motor. I gotta have a night off wrestling him.
You're what my brother wouldn't call a jobber.